We're back. That was a match. That was so
That was
close.
insane. That was
Yeah.
insane. That was absolutely insane. Do you mind if you walking through like that last turn because I didn't even realize what was going to happen when it actually happened.
The last turn of our last
Mhm.
game.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So what happened was I needed to find an exploration effect. Like playing that whole game, making one land drop a turn was unacceptable. Like I couldn't loop chasm. I couldn't get ahead while playing chasm. So my last two or three turns I spent just frantically bizarring for an exploration. And that last turn, I found Fast Bond off my first Bazaar card, and
Uh,
but I was at two, and I just sacrificed my Chasm. You can Chasm stops Fast Bond damage, so you can just deploy freely when you have Chasm. So and the Thorn kept me off Loam plus Fast Bond plus Chasm, then go off. So Thorn, if I had one more mana, or I think two more life, or if I had drawn it last turn where Chasm was still in play already, I think I had it. But
yeah.
it was just a little squeeze in all the right directions, just perfectly shopped right out. So Thorn
Yeah,
did
it
its
was
job.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's what the story of the game was that you
Hmm.
needed some type of exploration effect. Because with
Right.
exploration it's easy or honestly one more mana. That last turn one more mana would have been fine because you would have been able to strip, bring back Tabernacle, even pay for the Thorn, and I would be done for.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get Tabernacle in play and strip, but it was a mana short, like you said. The Thorn just pinched off the fast bond combo line. It pinched off the Tabernacle lock line. So the Thorn was the perfect tool there. So I popped the Cinder Vines a lot earlier on your, your 4-2 Chief of the Foundry,
Yeah.
and uh, maybe it should have just gone towards Thorn and tried to go off, but or maybe I needed to dig more aggressively for an exploration earlier before it was too late. But I don't know. I'm gonna rewatch that game and think really hard about it in the future. So
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Match
it
one was
was.
also pretty crazy, but I was pretty lucky with match one. So
Yeah, yeah. When you got to 4 mana, I was like, what kills me? And then it's like, oh, Traxos, I'm at 7. Like
well, I mean,
lame.
you were like it was very unlucky, right? Like you didn't see any of the things that you sort of needed. I could have died much earlier.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but that was the opposite situation of game two. Game two, I had all the tools but no exploration. Game one, I had 4 explorations and no lands. So
Yeah,
just didn't get an engine online in, or got the wrong engine or half the engine online in each game, and that's one of the pitfalls of this deck.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Like you played Fast Bond, and I was like, I'm definitely dead. Like I'm dead right now.
Right.
But it just didn't line up perfectly.
Yeah, I ended that game with 2 more explorations in hand with the Manabon and Fastbon in play. So
You're like, I don't think I need these. I think this might be overkill.
yeah, every single draw step of that game was like, come on, stage, just
Yeah.
stage. But
Hmm.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like our next match that we're going to watch is Brian Kelly versus Bob Maher, which what's interesting was looking at the decks that everyone chose to bring. It kind of felt a little bit like Legacy Super League, like tier three.
Yeah,
Like
it really does.
Enchantress, Belcher, Lance. Well, I wouldn't say Lance tier three, but
Yeah, and Mud even like also a legacy deck that you can play, but I don't recommend.
yeah, you can
So
sleeve it up. That might be like four
right,
tier
yeah,
three.
Steel Stompy, I guess that's like tier two, solid tier two deck right now in legacy.
Hmm. So
Oh,
we get to see Enchantress versus Belcher.
yeah, this is gonna be crazy. Bob is just gonna ram spells onto the stack, and Brian has 3 Force of Wills and 2 uh, Mind Break traps to try to stop him.
Yeah.
And Brian also has the energy field, and Bob doesn't really have ways to put cards into Brian's graveyard. So, like just like energy field could be enough to buy a lot of time. then yeah, a lot of weird stuff can happen. Brian is crazy with his numbers. He has 3 enchantresses in his enchantress deck. I think the normal number is like 9, but what do I know? He's an evil genius.
He really is. Well,
Yeah.
the first thing that I thought was really interesting was looking at his list. I'm like, wow, you have all these super powerful enchantments. Like he must be running like the tutors to get them, and he's not.
Yeah,
So
I read his list over and over again. I was like, they're here somewhere. Like, where's the Enlightened Tutor? Where's the Sterling Grove? Like, and where's Idyllic Tutor? Like, Brian Kelly, don't let me down here. But he is just naturally drawing all these enchantments, and he has his Dig Through Time in his Rest in Peace deck. Like, I don't know what he's up to here, but uh, we've seen it before. A few years ago when he won Vintage Champs, I saw his list leading up to Champs, and I was basically like, "This deck is trash. You're an idiot. Who plays these cards? Like Dragon Lord Dramoka, get out of here." And then he won the tournament.
yeah, that's his invitational card. Like
Yeah,
100%.
That's his thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sounds like they're ready. Oh, there's that energy field. Do we know who's on the play?
Let's see. Looks like Bob Maher. I'm going to
Oh,
assume by the way the time is ticking down.
okay. So we have Mindbreak Trap and turn 1 energy field. If Brian gets a turn, this hand is real good, and Mindbreak Trap is going to help him get a turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Although one thing I want to say before we get too far into this match is I would really like to see a nimble obstructionist stifle like a Belcher trigger. So if we could make that happen, that'd be great.
That would be phenomenal. Or like stifle a Tezzeret -4, get the maximum value.
I hope we can see that. I hope the games break that way.
I am so scared of that obstructionist. I don't even know why. Like it barely interacts with my deck, but I'm terrified. He's gonna get me with it somehow.
So, exactly. I also think like a key card to think about would be the Aegis, because the Aegis is obviously very good, but
Right.
without the tutors, right? you
Yeah.
have to draw the one of.
Yep. Just they're actual fun ofs. Just one of, no way to find it.
Okay,
And
so let's look.
yeah, Brian's taking it slow here. He went with the library instead of the safe play of energy field. But that makes sense if he wants to follow up with standstill.
Yeah.
And this mind break trap gives him a lot of breathing room.
So it looks, but Bob's going to know about the mind break tracks.
Yeah.
Mind break traps, and she's get probing him.
Yeah, there's no more secrets.
In Phyrexia, there is no secret.
Yeah. All will be complete.
So it looks like
that was a good draw. The deck plays 1 land and there.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to hear what Bob Maher's plan or why he chose to bring Belcher.
I was talking to. I did a lot of work with Frank Single, who is the mastermind behind this Vintage Lands deck, and I was talking about what I expected all of you to play, and I thought Bob would play a just like bananas deck, like that he wouldn't normally play if he were alive for the playoffs. Like this is his chance to just cut loose, and he did not disappoint.
And then Brian Kelly, you have to just say like, I don't know. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, I thought I would out weird him with lands, but nope. Enchantments are even weirder than lands, it turns out.
Although that's a great legacy matchup. I'm very excited to see you two play.
Yeah.
Brian mirror match.
I'm also excited for this mirror match. Yeah, it's so weird. He has so many cards that are good against me in some situations and cards that are garbage in all situations, and I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
That's tonight's theme, just weird.
Weird. Like, well, we're going to see. I don't know if these matchups have ever really happened in Vintage, but we're going to see what's going.
Yep. The new dual deck, weird versus weird.
Well, he doesn't have Elephant Grass, which is like way worse for lands in Legacy, right? So
yeah, that's true. Merit Lage is a black creature, unfortunately. He does have one repeal that I'm sure he's going to have in every game. Guaranteed. The nimble obstructionist and the repeal.
Yeah, never didn't have it.
All right, so Bob has maneuvered through the Mindbreak trap, and Tezzeret is in the hand, and he has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. That is 8 mana.
Yes, because of
So,
the guide.
Right, 8 mana with the guide, which is 1 short of belching next turn.
Ooh, exciting.
Oh wait, no, it's the right number. Tezzeret costs 5, Belcher costs 3 to activate, 4 to cast. So he can belch next turn.
Ooh, no nimble obstructionist.
Oh, that Force of Will.
By the way, I don't think I ever to close up on that thought. At first I thought it was because he doesn't play the tutors like Enlightened Tutor because of mental misstep. His deck is like very good against mental misstep.
Right.
But I also think that maybe it's at his blue count for Force. Like if he puts all of those in, is too low. I don't know. That's the only other thing I could come up with of why he's not playing those tutors.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know Brian is really low on Force of Will. Last month, when I was commentating, I had a back and forth with Stephen Menendian about how much I think Force of Will is a bad deal in general as a Magic card, and I don't like it in fair matchups. And we had a back and forth. If there's a person who likes Force of Will less than me, it's Brian Kelly. Like, he loves playing 3 because he hates the card. He doesn't want to have 4.
Although it looks pretty good right about
Yeah, I'm sure he's glad he just spiked his 3 of there. Just less than optimized, but there it was. Right up. Yeah. But leading on the Sylvan Library is what found it for him. So if he had just played the super safe, like Jam Energy Field, that wouldn't have happened. So he has played very smartly. Oh, baby. Telepathy is here. Talk about no more secrets. Wow.
I also, when I looked at that card, I'm like, wow, when I saw that on his deck list today.
Yep, Brian Kelly, folks. He also has 2 of his 3 enchantresses. This many.
Yes, he has exactly 3. 4 too much. But if you're going to draw them, if you're going to have library and you're going to draw them, like...
Yeah, you don't want to deck yourself. This deck actually has very few win conditions. That was probably his thought process.
So he's thinking. Looks
Maybe.
Like oh.
Yeah, I think he just has to keep every card all the time with this library until he's out of life, because 20 is the same as 1 in this matchup.
Definitely true.
And he's ready to take his time. All right, Bob is not afraid. You can't be afraid with this deck. There's no plan other than jamming. And two of his 5 answers are already accounted for. They'll be back in the deck if this resolves, but... Oh no, diminishing returns is just you, right? Not both players draw 7? Or is it both? I have not resolved this card in a long time.
Let's look it up before we say the wrong thing and then the chat.
Yeah. Well, Brian's hand is gone, so...
There we go, yes.
Okay,
So
it is both players.
It sets aside, yeah.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, and you have to exile your top 10 cards when it resolves, and then you Time Twister.
Wow, that's an interesting, obviously a really good hand for Bob, it looks like.
Yeah, and Brian, on the other side, is empty. He has the Aegis in hand. If he gets a turn, it's gonna work. Yeah, Bob has...
But it won't work,
Ancestral.
Right? Because Bob has...
Right, Bob has Force of Will. I don't think Force of Will is still going to be in that hand when he passes the turn. If he passes the turn.
Yeah.
Unless the Ancestral finds Belcher, then we're just done.
Well, that's the plan, I think.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about Ancestral. Ancestral could be anything. It could be 3 anything.
Yeah, anything at all.
All right, but it was not Belcher.
All right, so we're going to spin the wheel again. But which wheel do we want? Wheel of Fortune is probably I don't know. So I guess Time Twister Wheel gets these counter spells out of your possible cards you draw,
Correct.
and Time Twister does not. So if Bob wants action, he should wheel. If he
Mhm.
wants to find action and protect it, he should twist.
Yes.
But the wheel also gets the twister out of the wheeling rotation, and twister can twist into wheel.
Correct.
All right. Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is anything floating? I don't think so.
I don't see anything floating, and I think that's the full hand that I can see.
Oh, we can
No.
tinker. So, yeah, 6 is enough to tinker for a Belcher and Belch.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, but the Force of Will has arrived in Brian's hand.
Oh, now we're back. And he has the Aegis.
Yeah, the Aegis is back for more too.
Oh my god, I love this. Oh man, I am so happy. I hope it happens.
Around and around we go.
Where it stops, nobody will know. Although you did call it when you said that he could twist into the wheel, and we definitely did twist into a wheel.
Right. But if he wheeled, that Aegis would be out of the rotation.
Exactly.
You couldn't. No way to know that. You absolutely don't play thinking about that. But
no.
It's just funny to note that we went from like, oh no, Aegis, but no counterspell to oh Aegis and counterspell. We're good.
Yeah, the Aegis, the lurking Aegis that he knows nothing about, waiting to hopefully Brian untaps with it.
Right. So if Aegis resolves, Bob would have to belch the Aegis and then untap and belch Brian.
Correct. So it's not even like.
Right. And Brian's deck with very few win conditions, and none of them particularly speedy. That could be a line.
So
Brian's going to draw. Sorry, Brian's going to draw so many cards though with his hand.
Mm-hmm. But what is Bob thinking?
Bob is probably thinking. He's probably sequencing like, what do I do if he has Force of Will? So, what's the least painful way to fight through this Force of Will?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tinker is going to be a 2-for-1, or a 3-for-1 because you have to crack Lotus to do it. Okay, he's preordained for a counterspell first. Like that's his plan now. He wants to protect this.
Yeah, it's understandable.
He's playing super safe. Yeah, so with Tezzeret, Belcher, and Tinker in hand, any one of those he could put on the sack right now, and it could get countered, and then he can try again next turn.
Yes.
And you just have to you play your like second best lethal threat right now. Ooh, Candelabra. Let's just cast all these cards right now.
Yeah, we could do it now. How about now?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You said I had to untap, but
well,
my turn.
Yeah, the untap is coming.
It's definitely untap. It's just I don't need another turn to do it.
Right. Let's see if Brian sniffs this out and forces this Candelabra.
But if he forces the Candelabra, where does that leave Bob?
If he forces Candelabra, Bob tinkers.
Yeah. See, so it's like not even that.
Yeah, it's the best kind of bait spell. It's the bait spell that's also lethal.
Yes, it's like you have to counter this, but it's like an abundance of riches. I have all these things that you need to counter, and I'll just throw it, and one of them will eventually resolve.
Yeah, it's like that end step dig through time, untap, Yawgmoth's Bargain.
That's counter one.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So he did counter it.
All right, and now he dies, right? We tinker for Belcher and plenty of mana.
Yes.
He even gets to sacrifice that map that's doing nothing. He just has a full brick artifact.
He does.
That's good. That's just good deck building.
All right.
Nice. Bob?
I'm so sad that the Aegis did not come into play, even though it was in the hand.
Yeah, that super conservative preordain was exactly the right play. It found a spell good enough to bait, and then went off through it.
Yep, absolutely. So sideboard-wise, Brian Kelly is moving fast. He knows exactly what he wants to bring in. So he has to want to bring in like Lavinia, right? Um, Still Sabotage is good. Is a good bring in from him.
Right.
He has a Stony in his board as well.
Yeah. Hercules doesn't do much. It can break up Vault Key, but not. It doesn't stop a Belcher.
Mm-mm.
He's got
Nature.
nature.
He has.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Claim, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Stony Silence. He's got a ton of good cards. Flusterstorm.
Mhm. Oh yeah, when you bazared over, or no, sorry, dredged. When you dredged with your life from the loam 2 claims into your.
Yep, there they go.
Okay,
Yep.
and then for Bob, Chain of Vapor, his Void, right? What else?
Right. His defense grid probably.
Yeah.
Does he bring in? No, he wouldn't bring in the workshop for this. That's for a workshop.
And just because it's staring me at the face, I am very worried about Brian Kelly's moat. I'm like not about that life.
Yeah, Moat is a serious card. It's like a glacial chasm, but they don't have to pay 2, then 4, then 6 life for it.
It's like way too. That's broken.
Yeah, Brian Kelly is not afraid of a 4-mana sorcery in Vintage. Like, not even a
Tap
little.
out. Play
Yep.
it.
If it's good enough, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
Yep. He's been known to oath into Magus of the Moat. Even like, he loves himself a moat.
One of my favorite cards in Cube, so I can appreciate that. Just happens to be particularly good against me this time around.
Right. Man,
Okay,
Moat
so
is
he
nice.
is bringing in the defense grid,
Right.
like you called. It got in there.
Yeah. Other than the Stony Silence, all Brian's, he has the Eidolon and the Stony Silence, but otherwise all his interaction, all his meaningful cards are instants.
Mm-hmm.
So the grid is going to be good.
Yes. I did notice at some point that I'm pretty sure Brian brought in Flusterstorm. I'm trying to look now, but
Yeah, he definitely should.
yes.
Just any spell he can point at Bob's spells is a good spell.
Okay, so from Brian's point of view,
Brian has Flusterstorm and Telepathy and Energy Field.
Yep.
So he could set up being alive for a while at least. He would have to crack both fetch lands before casting the field because he boarded out his Rest in Pieces. The combo's gone. It's just while it's here, it's here.
Right.
So that means if he Flusterstorms anything, the field is gone. So field's pretty bad without Rest in Peace actually. It's like silent. It's basically silence. Like,
I can't guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like a 2-mana, not a surprise silence. That telepathy is going to let him know exactly when he has to go for it, though.
Ooh, somebody needs to get Bob some milk. That is not good.
Yeah, Bob.
And it's not so great.
Yeah, he mulliganed several hands that couldn't produce blue mana and had no line to the blue mana. This has a turn 1 map for the Academy.
Correct. And because Brian Kelly is playing no mental missteps, he could just.
Yep, he can do it with impunity. Yep. And he can cast both of these cantrips with his fresh Academy right now.
Yes.
If I were, yeah, if I were Brian, I would probably Flusterstorm one of them. Like on the small to 4, just smell weakness, crush this thing.
Probably true. So in that case, Bob leads with the Preordain.
Yeah, because that's the one that sees fewer cards.
Right. So
but
it's going to get countered.
Right. It sees up to 3 cards, but it sees them in a smoother way than Ponder, which can see up to 4 cards.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right. Brian looking way smarter than me because this diminishing return immediately appears in the hand. Yeah, so there's the returns, the cantrips, Tinker, and counter spells that can be Flusterstormed. Belcher itself is not flusterable. Tezzeret is not flusterable.
Nope. But if he plays it and then counters and counter, Fluster is obviously
right.
king
Yeah, so
there.
flustering, I guess it makes a lot of sense with the deck being full of draw sevens that you save the Flusterstorm for the thing that can fully undo the mulligan.
Sure.
Yep.
I wonder what he is looking at with Ponder.
Yeah, we are not privy to that information, unfortunately.
Nope. They're with everybody else here. But he's thinking about it, so it's probably interesting.
Yeah, you didn't shuffle quickly.
Nope.
That's a pretty good card.
That is. And with no mental missteps, I feel like a broken record. I mean, you can't run it out with.
Right.
No.
So, Nature's Claim is double Stone Rain here. If Brian is interested in that kind of thing, and then passing with Flusterstorm up, or he's just passing with Flusterstorm and Repeal, and claiming at his leisure, I guess. Oh wow, that was a good ponder. Look at this.
Ooh, a pact.
I mean, it's pretty bad against Flusterstorm.
All right.
But it'll be.
On the stack.
Yeah. Flusterstorm does not counter this card. Oh, now it does. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I think I would have just gone for the main phase Nature's Claim if I were Brian.
Yeah.
This fight would have been a lot less awkward.
Yeah, but do you put your opponent on recall? Like that, I feel like that this is like the maximum punishment line for if you're Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Ancestral is the most punishing thing, but like certainly put my opponent on needing mana to win the game.
That's true. That's definitely true.
And this vault is tapped. There's no other Moxen in play. They would be there if he had them.
You're 100% true. Accurate.
I guess it's mostly the same, but now Bob has this white mana floating. Oh wow, he's paying for these Flusterstorms. He's going to pact the third one and then just die. Oh, this is good. This is good stuff. I'm so excited to be here.
Ready. I'm so ready.
And dead.
Really quickly, is there an Angel's Grace? Is there a way to make white mana?
Nope, there is a concession on the stack there.
He wanted that recall and he got that recall.
This man is playing like he's dead for the playoffs, and I love it. Because I'm there with him.
Awesome though. No, but it's awesome because I think it's really cool to see these decks. And I don't know if we would have seen them in any other case, like you said earlier, right?
Yeah, I would absolutely not play this deck if anything was on the line, except having a ton of fun, because it is a ton of fun.
Yes. So what would you have played? Like, let's say you were alive.
If I was, it depends. If I was 3-0, I would have played something like solid but a little fun. If I was 1-3, I'd be here with PO Storm. Just if I needed three wins and my best route to them, it's PO Storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, how dramatic are Magic players that we refer to as being like dead or alive? Like you're alive or you're dead. I'm dead.
Yep, just dead.
Strong. Okay, so this means Bob gets to be on the play, though.
Right. In all the excitement, I actually forgot that Bob won game 1, and I was just like ready to go to the next match. But there is more. There's more coming. The chat knows that. While I'm talking about my current brain dead state, I've been without power for 2.5 days now, living on other people's couches, and I would like to thank my friends Rob, Kelly, and Dylan for letting me stream from their house. There's Dylan's hand. Yeah, so I'm very tired and delirious and at someone else's house, but we're making it work, and I'm really happy that I could still do this.
Oh my god, where do you live that you don't have power for 2 days? Is it like a Like your house, or is the entire, obviously the entire area is not out since you're at your friend's house?
Right. I live in Pittsburgh, and there was a crazy windstorm that swept down off the Great Lakes and just ripped up the Midwest and Western Pennsylvania. And uh, like 200,000 people lost power in Pittsburgh on Sunday, and I'm in like the last 10,000 to get it back.
Of
So,
course, of
yeah,
course.
I should have it back tomorrow though. But
Would
all
you
right,
say
cool.
that it was a windfall?
Ooh, a poor windfall. Usually windfalls are good, right? And the wind certainly made my power fall.
All right, so let's look at Bob's hand first since he's on the play. I see a Lotus.
A ponder. He has infinite mana and a ponder to do something with it.
And he could get his Academy,
Right.
which is just, like you said, 1,000 mana in this hand.
Yep. Not quite literally infinite, but we're close.
Like everything that we would need, pretty much, right?
Right. Irrelevant numbers of mana. Like if this ponder finds Ancestral Recall and the Ancestral finds 2 Belchers, he could cast them both. Like we're good.
Oh, okay. Do your ponders normally find recalls? Because like I need those ponders.
I am rooting for Bob here. Like battling from the 0-3 bracket, like taking a meaningful win off someone who cares. Like that's what we're here for.
Dream crushing.
Yeah, dream crush. Though
Dream crush.
Though I am a huge Brian Kelly fan. Like he's great. He's super smart. He's super cool. He comes up with an Enchantress and things like that. And he is against the wall. Like he takes a loss, he's also out of the playoffs.
Absolutely. So, and he just happens to be like one of the nicest people in the entire world.
Yeah, he's absolutely delightful.
All right, so let's see with the ponder. So you said it was going to be, if I remember correctly, hopefully recall Belcher.
Yeah, it'll be that, or like Belcher Pact of Negation. Like I'm sure. And Bob did a super smart thing here. He saved the map, so he can ponder and take one card he likes, then shuffle and get the Academy.
Yes, and this is a pretty good card.
Right. That it's a lethal threat to shove onto the stack, which is all he wants in this matchup, or ever in any matchup.
Well, it is Belcher, so there's no. It's like right. I have the thing, and then I have counters to protect my thing.
Right. Yeah, and Brian has the Mindbreak trap, unfortunately for Bob. So Bob must have liked the top card of his deck because he didn't shuffle, and he could have, and had more mana as a result of the shuffle. So he's floating a Belcher or Tinker or something here. Oh, Brian can turn 1 Oblivion Ring. Does he want to do that? What's he worried about here? He could ring that map and just deny the shuffle and the Academy, as far as he knows.
Right, as far as he knows. We know that he has the second map in hand, but I mean that would be obviously a read that you can't do.
Right.
I guess the question is if he doesn't. So I think like the follow-up question is if he doesn't ring, like what would he be waiting?
Right. Is he going to go like Enchantress Pass? Like what's his plan here? He could ring the Crypt and turn Bob off mapping, as far as he knows too. So let's see what he goes for here.
Yeah, but the Crypt is like a win condition.
Yeah. All right, he is going for the Crypt. Yeah, taking the Crypt is effectively also taking the map.
Yes.
All right, let's see what Bob kept. Show me that Tinker. That's now going to look pretty bad.
Belcher.
Oh, okay. Is that what that card is? Is that a Magic Online only art?
It's not. No. Sorry, it's a Mana Vault, right?
The Mana Vault's already in play.
No, Time Vault. I see.
Oh,
yes,
Time
right.
Vault. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know what I saw. I thought I saw a Belcher, and I was like, that's not very good right now.
Yeah, it would have been with that Academy, but Brian's Savage Vintage line of turn 1 Oblivion Ring.
All right.
This win condition is still chugging away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a ponder. Look at these cards. That's Vault Key.
Oh, okay. Suddenly more sense. All right.
He literally pondered from Hellbent into Tezzeret Vault Key.
Okay, so it wasn't Recall Belcher Belcher, but pretty good. I think we can agree.
Yeah.
And once again, no mental misstep. This is like a meme at this.
Right. All right. Dig Through Time is finally castable. This enchantress, this poor, lonely, hungry enchantress with no enchantments to cantrip with.
Please.
Her 0 power is really punishing. As 1997 designs. This card would be too good if it was a 1/1. It does have Shroud. That's a powerful ability.
Yes.
All right, let's see if Brian does us the courtesy of putting these Dig Through Time cards. Yeah.
We can see what they are. It does not appear so.
Yeah, he's too deep in the tank to worry about us right now. I'm sure he'll come up with the best 2 choices.
Yes.
If there is a blue card in the stack, he's going to take it. Like the Mindbreak Trap might not even be good anymore. Oh, okay, here we are. Go. Oh, there's not a blue card among them.
There's no blue card.
I'm going to get really close to the screen and try to read this.
Too. Sorry, Ever.
Yeah, sorry, chat, for my giant head. All right, so we've got
Library of Delta, Emerald, Misty, Flooded. Wow, that is a lot of land. Okay.
Aegis.
Yes, an Enchantress and an Aegis.
All right, there's Aegis, but Aegis does not beat Vault Key. Okay, he went for deploying a library right now. That makes a lot of sense. That becomes Ancestral Recall in the future, and it cantrips immediately.
Yes.
All right, so Bob just needs to draw 2 mana right now, and he wins. Or 1 mana to crack one of these maps.
He gets to crack the map and gets the Academy, right?
Any mana source. No, Force of Will. Where were you 2 turns ago? Oh, no, he has it. He just has it. He can key to untap.
Right. Key does not only have to untap the vault.
Right. So he can't Vault Key go off this turn, but he can hold up Force of Will, like hardcast Force of Will. Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's one short of that. He can deploy the Vault and demand a response right now. Right. So cards literally on the table. Brian Kelly, figure this out. Go. The Oblivion Ring's already in play.
Yes, that's true. So let's see. Well, he gets some looks at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Brian Kelly, I see you.
Well, good ponder for a good right?
Yeah, chat. If you weren't paying attention, he just went from Standstill in his hand to Force of Will, Lavinia, Hurkyl's Recall.
It's nice. It's nice. That nice like Hurkyl's Lavinia combo. Put it to your hand, then.
And here's a fun fact: Bob's deck only has 1 land in it. There is no digging out of Lavinia. It can't happen. Yeah, it's just scoop.
Hard lock. Yeah.
The 1 card hard lock. Wow.
That's a combo. She's a combo by herself.
Yeah, that was a lesson in how to cantrip from both players. How to dig.
Wow, that did not end how I thought it was going to end.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a very, very fun match.
Brian Kelly's still alive.
I don't think I've ever seen an Enchantress versus Belcher, so that was an absolute delight.
Yep, a lot of first times for everyone here tonight.